Hello, Narnach here. Welcome back to Grim Dawn. We are standing in front of the entrance to the witch's lair. For this difficulty, I have decided that I'm gonna side with the Black Legion against the outcasts. Well, I am really not all that sympathetic to the Captain Dude, Captain Reeve, that gives you the quest. He really seems like just a person who's afraid of the supernatural. On the other hand, the Black Legion, they are a bunch of soldiers. I am a soldier, and they have really good upgrades once I become friendly enough with them. So in this case, I'm just gonna set my principles aside, and we are going to pick an alliance of convenience rather than an alliance of principles. So the witch is gonna die and gonna burn, because as we had a bit of a look last time, all we're gonna get from choosing the outcasts is basically just gonna be a bunch of caster stuff and no elemental damage and all kinds of things like that. And the augments here, it's a little bit of ether resistance in here, but the Black Legion is so much better. So too bad for you, Anasteria, but the witch must die. So this has the potential to either be a really short episode, or we are just going to be very happy with the Black Legion from now onwards, because this is a pretty tough cookie to fight. Currently we have 12,400 health. We have resistances that are pretty solid in my opinion. Our lowest resistance right now is Ether with 47, but we do have... where was it again? I always forget where it is. Yes, over here. The Empowered Shard of Menhir, which has a 20% chance on block to trigger Ether Ward, which boosts our Ether resistance by 30% for 8 seconds when it triggers. So that's gonna help a little bit. We also have a potion if need be, but other than that, our burst resistances otherwise are in the 60s. We have 365 health per second to fall back on. So, yes, this is a scary fight, but I don't expect to die here, so we're gonna do this. So, let's burn the witch.
My, what a curiosity you are.
I wonder what fate will hold us this time, but we're our friends, but I'm not so sure anymore. Do not be swayed by the wishes of the paranoid and the afraid. Make your choice with confidence. I don't trust you anymore.
My, what a curiosity you are.
We lost all of our reputation with the outcast. And we were somewhere between respected and honored, I think. It just instantly went back to down to 0.
My, what a curiosity.
So, enough talk, trader. Time to die. So now we are hostile with the outcasts. So that looks rather ethereal to me. And as you see, she does a fair amount of damage. She's level 70. She has a fair chunk of ether stuff that's gonna be thrown about. Yeah. This is a fight that we want to be cautious about, because she hurts a lot more than even Captain Lucius, who we fought and we defeated. But I'm gonna pop that ether resistance flask anyway. So we are now at a higher resist. Of course, she's a witch. She penetrates our resistances. Everything is down a lot lower than you would want to. I think we lost about 30 points of our resistances. Yeah, that's not good. That's definitely not good. And there's not really a lot you can do against that, except deal with it. Okay, now that we have popped the ether resistance flask and our resistances are raised a bit, it is a bit more doable to deal with it, but, well, I say that as my health is slowly dwindling down. Never celebrate your victory before the foe has actually been defeated. Okay. Well. Come on. A little bit more. That's you, not me. A little bit more for you, not for me. Witch. Burn the witch. Kill the witch. Yes, we killed the witch. Ding dong, the witch is dead. And the Black Legion will be thankful. So, let's have a chat with our new buddy, Captain Reeve. Hater of all that is unearthly. Or uncarny, I should say, because this world is called Karn after all. Have you dealt with the witch yet? Yes, the witch is dead. And we got 1,000 Black Legion reputation, which boom dumped us to the next tier. I say good riddance. I knew I could count on you. With the wretch dead, we can turn our attention to other concerns. Are you up for some field work? Well, what do you need? I am a loyal grunt after all. There are reports of cultist activity around an old tomb out in the Estakarn mountains. We always figured those tombs were nothing but ruins, but anything that attracts this much attention from the Call of Cthulhu demands we act. Head south out of Fort Icon and enter the tombs of Korvac. I think we entered that one last week, or last episode I should say. Deal with any bloodsworn priests and doomsayers that you find in there. The tomb is out in the wilderness, away from the main road. I've already done that. Hey, excellent. I do love how the game remembers all of the things you do. So I've already done that. Excellent work. We don't need them sniffing around our backyard. Who knows what they could have found down there? Well, you probably don't want to know. Hey, so we are now not entirely happy with the outcasts. But what does the Black Legion now want? They want us to kill the outcasts. So the question is then, what exactly is an outcast? Do we just have to keep farming that witch over and over and over again, or bounties? Hey! Sir, Moira of the Spellbreaker Division reporting. I was wondering if I could have a moment of your time. What do you need? Before I arrived in Fort Icon, I was assigned to a division marching south towards Old Arkovia. When the bridge collapsed, we had no choice but to take Deadman's Gulch. We never would have suspected the enemy to be there in such numbers. The Ethereals were heavily entrenched in the crags, busily spreading their ether fire using a massive obelisk known as the Herald of Destruction. That also rings a bell. The place was turned into a literal hell. We now call it the Immolation. Few of us made it out there alive, but managed to seal the mine shaft. I've heard word of your exploits. If you could enter the Immolation and destroy the Herald, then you would severely cripple the enemy's ability to terraform our world, and I will have revenge for all the lives lost in my battalion. Well, I will do that. Didn't we already kill the Herald of Destruction after we killed the Herald of the Stars, or whatever it was called? Or is this actually slightly different? I'm confused with the conflagration. That sounds a little bit like the Immolation. So, Deadman's Gulch. That's up there. Actually, I've never done this before. Let's have a look. We still have some ether resistance. Well, we have a little bit of ether resistance left. Oh god, no. It's not gonna be that area, right? Oh, that's definitely not gonna be a happy place. That's very much not gonna be a happy place. We will need more ether resistance potions if we're gonna venture into there. That's I'll show you what. There's this path here they call the Immolation. Okay, so we have a little bit of Spirit Bane Ointment left. We are at 86% ether resistance. It's never going to be any higher than it currently is. And that hurts a boatload. We have a number of ether clusters that we can use once. Okay, what if we put up Damn. Damn. Anyway, but here. Whew. Okay. Let's not do that quest, shall we? Okay. That's not something that you can simply just go into without proper preparation, even if you have a boatload of health and a regeneration. We just simply need more regeneration and more resistances. Okay, so let's continue as we were. Yeah, we'll just portal out, just evaporate that old portal. I wonder if we can actually portals come through there. What I did here, opening up the portal, might have been a stupid thing. We were halfway through, so if we open up a portal, go out, wait for our health to go back up, and then go down again, walk a bit, but that would be scummy, right? For now, we'll just park it, ignore it, move on. We'll deal with it some other time. That's just a nasty area. So, Gates of Necropolis. In here, we have a appointment. On the one hand, with the blood wagons. They are the prerequisite in order to actually get in. On the other hand, there is the Black Sepulcher.
That skill's not ready.
An area filled with undead. And, well, those undead, they need to be killed. And the primary reason for going in there, of course, is not purely because we are, no, just keen on killing undead. Yes, it is nice, but there is a devotion shrine down there. Even on Elite, there is a devotion shrine down there. And I do enjoy my devotion points. So, that's exactly where we are going to go. I remember it was somewhere over to the east here. So we'll just keep heading east. And then eventually we will get where I want to go. But yeah, no, the immolation thing I just tried. Don't try that at home, please. At least don't try it at home unless you really know what you're doing. Cause I took a pretty big risk there. I think I saw my health go down as low as 4,000. I do have a boatload of all kinds of defenses layered. I think we dropped below 4,000. We triggered our, where was it again? We triggered our Menhir's Will. We got restored for about half of our life afterwards. That is what pushed us back to 9,000. But that was one of the last safeguards. No, that actually was the last safeguard that we had on this build against dying. So I pushed it and I couldn't get through the entire thing in a single go. As I said, in hindsight, I might have been able to just take multiple passes at it in order to clear it, but that feels just scummy. It feels like abusing game mechanics. So yeah, I'll just have a look at it at the immolation, see what the consensus is of the community on how to tackle that one. Whether safe coming really is the way, or whether I just need even more sources of healing. I don't know. We'll see. Well, of course, I do have some extra flasks here. The jelly salves are also a good source of regeneration. Combined that, of course, with all my other sources of regeneration boosting. That could be useful. Well, for now, let's focus on something slightly more practical. That's going to be the Black Sepulcher. Now, compared to the excitement of the witch fight, this is just a slog through large numbers of opponents. Of course, this is more dangerous. The witch fight, I knew I had to be on guard, so I was just hyper alert. Here, I'm almost playing on autopilot because these are just, they're zombies. What could be dangerous about zombies? And then, you die.
That skill's not ready.
And as a player, one of my weaknesses is when I get comfortable, when I feel like I'm in control, my alertness drops and I start making sloppy mistakes, and then before you know it, you die. And that's something that is really difficult to guard against, actually. But we'll see. Hello there, cracked lodestone. Also, why did I decide that killing these terraformers was a good idea? They take quite a boatload to murder. Also, what's that nice purple thing here? A despair aura. Fills you with dread, slowing your actions and inflicting ether damage. Doesn't mess with my resistances though, so it's not as bad as what the witch did. Right, it's putting out a pretty decent effort to try and murder me, but at the moment I say it, my health actually starts dropping below 10,000, but I was gonna say, so far he hasn't pushed me down to below 10,000 health, and then voila, it actually happens. Oh well. As I said, it keeps things a little bit interesting and a little bit exciting. If you know for certain that you can't die anywhere, then of course what's the point in playing? The actual risk of death is what keeps it fun, what keeps it exciting, what keeps the blood pumping. So, speaking of battling the undead, I'm a little bit late to the party in talking about it, but my defense is that all the episodes of last week I actually recorded a week ago just before I went on vacation. This is the first episode I'm recording after my vacation, and basically the day I went on vacation, the devs announced the final class for the expansion, and it is the Necromancer. I've already talked about it before. The rumor already was that it was gonna be the Necromancer. So I was really hoping for the Necromancer, and now we're getting a Necromancer, so I'm just very, very happy. That means, I'm hoping we can actually keep this character just alive and happy until the expansion lands. Then we'll see. Then I suddenly might have a very, very strong motivation to have an accident happen to this character, maybe. Nah, but the moment the expansion comes out, I'm gonna play a Necromancer, probably Occultist second. I love summoners. The Necromancer actually has a summoning skill. From the looks of it, the minions are temporary summons. But you summon multiple at a time, and you can stack it, and you can mess with various parameters of it for how long they stay and how many you can have and things like that. And the further you level your summoning skill, the better the minions are gonna be. So you start out with just some grunt skeletons, but over time I think you get some archers, you get some mages, and it actually becomes a pretty respectable force from the way I read it.
That skill's not ready.
Information, as usual, is pretty minimal, besides the only the announcement post. So we'll just have to wait and see. That's basically it. But I'm pretty excited for it, because I do love me some Necromancers. And I played a Conjurer before, so that's an Occultist Shaman with the big dog thing, the raven, and you got the hellhound, you got the spike thing. Completely blanking on the name again here. But no, it's not really like you've got an impressive bunch of summons around you. That's the unfortunate downside of the Conjurer. And then those dust devils, they are, well, not all as excited as I had expected them to be. And they're also just temporary minions that are a bit slow to summon, things like that.
That skill's not ready.
Also, this guy is 47, or 74 actually, reversing my numbers there. And we get a empowered dreadnought footpads. So let's step out of the goop for a bit. And let's have a look. Level 75, +2 to blitz, +1 to blind sight. physical resistance, pierce resistance, chaos resistance. I think we actually just found our level 75 boots. Thank you, game. Hello, you might be wondering, why am I looking at town now rather than the dungeons? The reason for that is that the moment where this transitions, I started coughing, so I paused the game, paused the recording, but I also hit the mute button on my microphone. And then after I stopped coughing, had a sip to drink, and I started recording again, I forgot to unmute my microphone. So I recorded about 10 minutes of the rest of the Black Sepulcher without actually having my microphone on. So I look rather silly there, just looking like a talking face, but I'm not actually making any sounds. So I personally believe that all the added value of a Let's Play is in the commentary and not necessarily in just simply in the gameplay. So, nope. I'll just summarize it for you. Nothing truly exciting happened in that part. I talked on a bit more about how exciting I am for the expansion, for the necromancer. No necromancer, occultist is gonna be my next combination that I'm gonna play. Demolitionist, we're gonna postpone that, probably in combination with the other new class, the Inquisitor. So that seems to be an interesting tag team. For now, we'll just hope to complete the game as far as possible before the expansion comes out. We never were in any real danger in any of the fights in the Black Sepulcher. All the danger and the excitement was definitely on the early parts of the game. As far as devotions were concerned, we were very predictably. We just went on here and picked the next one in the Obelisk of Menhir. So the next one is definitely going to be Stone Form. In terms of items, we didn't get any upgrades that we could instantly use, though we put the empowered dreadnought foot pads into our storage. That's the one that I actually stopped for. We also found this shoulder pads, which has a vitality resistance, 30% elemental resistance, a bit of fire retaliation, life regen, percentage life regen, some physique, some cunning. So there's a lot of things in here to like. So once we hit level 70, I hope I'll remember to actually pick them out and give them a shot, since now it's going to be 7% more elemental resistances for us. It's going to be a boost to vitality resistance, and we are going to need all of that in ultimate. Well, as I said before, we are now basically at the gates of the Tomb of the Watchers. So next episode, I'm gonna move forward, grab the waypoint, take out the blood wagons, then actually have a choice to go into the Bastion of Chaos, the first bit, and tag the Devotion Shrine there, pick up one more point to get the active ability in the Obelisk of Menhir over here. That is gonna grant us a nice bonus to armor absorption, pierce resistance, poison and bleeding duration, some bonus to retaliation damage whenever we block, and it's going to be up 8 out of 12 seconds. So this is a pretty potent defensive buff that's going to trigger rather frequently, I might imagine, since we are blocking more than half of the attacks. So that's substantial enough that we might actually want to take the next episode to just prepare to go into the Tomb of the Watchers. So we'll just do everything around here, and then the episode afterwards is going to be the actual Tomb of the Logorian, which is actually a slight change from what I was actually talking about in the silent part of the episode that never makes it to YouTube. But little clarification. And with that, I'm gonna thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time when we prepare to take on the Logorian. Bye bye.